How are people baptized at NEC or New England Chapel?
So at New England Chapel, when we do a baptism, we do it one of two ways. When we're baptizing an infant, which is more common in our church than adults, and when we baptize a child, we bring the child up front. Pastor Chris will talk to the congregation about what baptism means, and then he will dip his fingers in the water and make a sign on the child's forehead like that. And when we baptize an adult, we actually have a tub that we put up on stage and fill it with water and then dunk the person all the way under.
Are there any private baptisms that other people do but Pastor Chris still does?
So we will do baptisms that are not in front of the whole church. If a family wants to do that, we have a small chapel, and we sometimes will do a baptism just for a family or family plus friends instead of in front of the whole congregation, if they ask us to do that.
When should people get baptized?
Well, in our denomination, we believe that if you're baptizing a child, it's because the parents and the church are both saying that they want that child to be baptized and be raised to know God. If a person hasn't been baptized as a child and they then come to faith when they're a little bit older, then we believe that you'd be baptized as an adult. But we don't usually do it that somebody's baptized as an infant and then as an adult. That's not as common.
Okay. Speaking of denominations, what denomination is New England Chapel?
So New England Chapel is part of the Christian Reformed Church, and that church the headquarters of the church is in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that denomination has its roots in Holland. So it was formed by Dutch immigrants who came to the United States, and they had settled an area here in Whitensville, and they had settled in Michigan, so that's where the headquarters is.
What does the church believe about women involvement in the church?
So women involvement in the church has been a topic that's been debated a lot over the past probably 15 years, and the denomination made decisions back probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, that each individual church could decide whether or not a woman could be an elder or serve in that level of leadership position. And many churches still don't have that. New England Chapel believes that a woman can actually serve in a leadership position, so we have women elders at New England Chapel, and even though some churches in the denomination do not.
Okay, let me get back in my notes. Hold on. How good is the church at reaching out to other communities inside and also outside of the country?
It's actually one of the strong suits of New England Chapel. A few years back, we added a part of our mission statement that said that we were supposed to do things within and beyond our walls. And so when we talked about beyond our walls, it was with a real focus to reaching out to our community. So that would be like Franklin area. Then regional, which would be anything in like the Northeast. And so we have trips that go to Alabama or New Orleans or New Jersey. And then the world. So we actually have trips that we do to the Dominican, to Haiti, and to Africa. And it's actually really very much a part of the fiber of our church.